everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about 5 books that I find extremely comforting, whether they're books that I reread because I absolutely love the world, or maybe they're books that I read during a time in my life where I needed that safe, comforting feeling, or whatever that may be. So these are 5 books that I've read, and whenever I think about them extremely fondly, and I have reread the majority of these many times. So I have a couple books to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. So the very first book that I'm going to talk about is called Sundays at Tiffany's by James Patterson. This is a book that I actually saw Brie from In Love and Words pick up and read recently, and she said that this book actually has been made into, I think, like a Lifetime movie. I had no idea, and I definitely want to check it out and see if I can find it somewhere because I loved this book so much. To this day, I still remember this book and like the warm, cozy feelings that I felt from it, so I can definitely see why it was made into one of those movies. But this is about a girl named Jane, and her mom is a very busy woman whose job kind of like dictates her life, and because of that, Jane doesn't really have any friends. She doesn't feel very loved, so she has this imaginary friend named Michael, and he's, spends time with her and all that kind of stuff. And then fast forward till I think she's like 30 years old, and she ends up meeting Michael again. So this kind of has a little bit of a twist to it. It's not like, full fantasy or anything like that, because it is set in New York and all of that stuff. But yeah, this is very heartwarming, loving, and such a great book. I absolutely love it, and I definitely want to reread it and check out the movie if I can find it. One of the great standalone books that I absolutely love and adore is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I've put this book in several different recommendation videos and things like that, but this is a book that I fell in love with in middle school, reread it. My copy is beaten up to crap, and it's about a young boy who lives across the wall, and he sees a falling star, and he knows that that is the only way he's going to get Victoria's heart if he finds the star and brings it back to her. So he ventures across the wall where he's not supposed to go, and adventure ensues. This is so heartwarming and loving and so great. They made a movie out of it as well, which I didn't like the movie too much, but this book is absolutely wonderful. And each time I look at it, I just remember such fond memories and rereading it over and over again. If you're looking for something that is going to transport you to another world, as a standalone, is quick and fun and lighthearted at the same time, definitely check this one out. It's so good. A book that I read recently last year and absolutely adored, I was late to the train on this one, is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This is a kind of, I don't know if I want to, it's not a parody, I don't know the word. It's very similar to Harry Potter. You can see a lot of inspiration. This is a male-male romance between Simon and Baz as well. So Simon is the chosen one, and he is basically like really bad at being the chosen one. And then you have Baz, who's his roommate, who he believes is a vampire, and he's technically like the Malfoy of the story, and it's their romance as well as them trying to save the world from this evil lord, and it is so good. I loved the magic system in this. It took me a while to kind of figure it out because you're just thrown into the world and it's like, what the heck is going on? But it's really interesting because it's like phrases and songs that are very popular in the language of today or whatever it is, and because people use those words so often, it kind of gives them power. So that was really interesting to see and read about. Definitely a wonderful book. I do have Wayward Son, which is the second one, because this was originally a standalone. I still haven't read it yet, but I'm so excited because I love this book so much. So if you've seen it in my other videos, I do talk about this one a lot, and that is the Ghost Bird series by Ciel Stone. So the reason why I talk about this, I read this during a time in my life when things were really hectic, and it was really a huge escape from me. These books by this author are very much like, I don't want to say slice of life, but it's very like detailed. One book is like 2 or so days, and it just really, dives into the character and what is going on. There are some themes of abuse and things like that in it, but I absolutely adored it. It is a reverse harem, which means one girl, multiple guys. This has to be one of the larger group of guys surrounding one girl, and this is extremely slow burn as well. Like, kissing doesn't even happen until like the most recent books that have come out. It's like book 12 and things like that. But this book still is being written, or these books are still being written, and I absolutely adore this world. So the Academy is this secret society, and these guys are a part of it. And Sang, this girl who just moves into South Carolina on this new street, she makes friends with a group of guys, and they kind of like pull her under their wing because they see that she is in desperate need of help and things like that. So I absolutely love this book, love it so much. This definitely has the very innocent main character, but I did really enjoy it. I absolutely love it. I've reread this series so many times, and I just keep going back over and over again. So one that I didn't really think that I was going to put on here, but I definitely needed to, was The Bride Test by Helena Wong. This is one that really just reminded me of my own kind of like family, I guess, not in the fact that this has a mail order bride, but the fact that my grandmother, she came over from the Philippines, and it was very similar. She got her GED just like our main character did, and learned how to drive and all that stuff here, and just really was so strong-willed and things like that. So I really just connected to this, and you know, after my grandmother passing, it just was kind of like all these memories kind of came back, and I was remembering a lot of stuff from that through this book. So it was just one of those things where I really appreciated it and needed it. So this book is about Kai, who's autistic, and his mom thinks that he needs to be married, have a girlfriend, all of that stuff. So she decides to take matters into her own hands and goes abroad to find a wife. So she ends up finding Esme, that's her name. She finds Esme and decides that she would be perfect for him, and she's kind of like harboring a secret, and she comes over because she wants a better life for her and her family. This book is just so amazing. I loved it so much. You see Kai, who just doesn't think he needs a relationship, doesn't want one, and I really didn't think that this whole idea of a mail order bride would be something that I would enjoy, but honestly, I loved it so much, and I really want to reread both of these two books that are in this like series, but each can be read as a standalone. Yeah, when the next book comes out, I think it's coming out next year. So definitely pick this up if you haven't, if you've only checked out The Kiss Quotient, or read that one and read this one. Either way, both of her books are amazing. Check it out, please. They're so good. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching my comfiest, coziest reads. I have a couple books that I absolutely adore and love and reread all the time. If you have any thoughts or opinions or recommendations for me, I would love to chat about it and talk about it in the comments down below. I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye!